Hey guys, it's Max and Jax. Welcome back to Max and Jax After Dark, or whatever I'm calling it nowadays. Max and Late Night with Max and Jax, or Max Unscripted. Anyway, it's fun doing these, and I had a really good time the other night. I can't believe I spoke for 45 or 50 minutes 2 nights ago. I was going to do one last night, but I was too tired. I decided to give you guys a break. I'm going to do one tonight, and then I probably won't do one again until Monday night, because by then the futures will be open. Stock index futures will be trading, and we could start getting an idea of how we're looking for the Monday morning open, and we'll have more stuff to talk about. There's just a few things I wanted to talk about tonight. I leave a tab open whenever I want to talk about something. Okay, so here's the first thing I want to talk about. Anyone who sat through my 45 or 50-minute video the other night, I admitted to a shortcoming where I showed everyone that I added a dummy line. It was row number 6, and I think it was 1.6 million in there. And the reason I did that is because I couldn't figure out, I had a mistake somewhere, and I looked at retire on dividends, and I'm pretty sure his is right and mine's wrong. So I figured out the difference and just put it in here because I didn't want anyone seeing my spreadsheet and then thinking we were making $1.6 million less, or I didn't want it to be inaccurate, even though it's cheating to put that in there. Anyway, the good news is this morning I woke up and I drank a cup of coffee, went for a jog, and I came back home and I went through, there's a person on my Discord named Havoc, and they've recreated Retire on Dividend spreadsheet pretty closely. I think it's basically the same. They're super talented, and they just put the link up on the Discord. So anyway, I looked at that. I kept that on one tab, and I looked on the other, and I found the mistake. I found what I had done. It was a simple mistake, just like everything. But anyway, I found what I'd done. But while I was at it, I also fixed everything else. And now mine comes within like $400 of tying to Retire on Dividends. I still can't find the last $400, but I'm not worried about it right now. It's very accurate. I'm happy with it. So hopefully, and I'll still keep looking for that $400. But here's the good news. There's no more dummy line, no more number 6. There is, but it says 0, 0, and 0. All right. So I was proud of myself. I just wanted to brag about that. We'll talk more on some spreadsheets later. Look at this IWMY, 117% and $1.74. That just seems too good to be true. I'm gonna check my math. I'm gonna do to IWMY what I did to QQQY. The problem is with IWMY, I'm the only person on the internet that's keeping track of it. But I saved all the transactions. I have them all right here. They're all these Excel files. See, anyway, they're like this. And so I'm going to go back and I'm going to make sure I'm in good shape because I'm getting ready to make an estimate on IWMY, and I'm going to be the only one on the internet that's doing it. It's pretty exciting. The only one I know of. Now, next month, I think Retire's gonna start doing IWMY. So, but for now, I kind of have the market cornered on that, which brings me to my next thing that I wanted to say. Where was it? This guy right here, Ethan Gallstead. I'm sure you guys know him. He has a lot of followers, 18,000. He actually gave me a shout out, and not really me so much, but my spreadsheet and IWMY, and me also. He said some nice stuff, and I picked up a bunch of new subscribers. I really appreciated that. But yeah, he's really liking. This is the video where he gives Retire on Dividends a shout out, but I swear it's on another video he gave me a shout out. Anyway, I just wanted to say thanks. There's the one where he gave me a shout out. So that's awesome. Go check out his channel if you haven't, but I'm sure you guys have because he has a really popular channel, does a great job. Okay, so what else do we got on deck here to talk about? So I don't want to talk about that yet. Oh yeah, covered call content. Okay, in the future, like not too distant future, like maybe next week or definitely after the New Year's, I'm going to start doing some covered call content. That's how I first got into these things. I pretty much supported myself out of college in the 90s selling covered calls. Or whenever I needed extra money, if I wanted to go to Vegas, I'd sell some covered calls and get some money. It's not exactly like free money. You have to know what you're doing, but you know what I mean? I would use covered calls as kind of a backup source of income because there was no There was no triple QY back then. There was, there was no JEPQ. There was none of that. I think the first covered call fund was maybe the Cornerstone Group. Some people still have Cornerstone, CLM or CRM or something. I think that's been around since like '87. So I guess they were around. I guess I'm wrong. But anyway, there wasn't a lot of varieties, and I didn't know about it, so I never used it. Or maybe that's been around since '97. But I do know that fund's been around a long time. But they were, back when I was in wealth management, they didn't even have ETFs. They didn't even have the SPY hand. The SPY didn't even get invented until I think '99. So there was no ETFs. All they had was shitty mutual funds. And mutual funds, oh my gosh, don't even get me started. I mean, they're good for some people. It's like anything else, and there's good mutual funds out there. I'm not saying that, but all right. Let's talk. Oh yeah, but onto the covered call content. So I was just looking at bar chart. This is a pretty decent program to scan for covered calls, and I was looking at that. Now, hang on, the same thing happened last time. Okay. I may start doing an episode every week where I just talk about the most insane covered calls that you could do. And I mean insane in a good way, like the most premium you could capture. Some of these are just out of control. And lots of times these are meme stocks or something. But what I do is I get this list and then I sort it by annualized return. And look at this one up here. It's a 670% return. I mean, CYTK, I don't even know what that is. What is CYTK? I don't really study stocks much. I like indexes. Cytokinetics, okay. Good looking chart, broke out. I mean, yeah, what's not to like? What's not to like? But the thing I like about it is has to do with math than anything else. Let's go back. Yeah. So look at this. Okay, that stock trades at 44 bucks. Looks like it was up about 5 points the other day, but anyway, trades at 44 bucks. You could sell the 55 strike call for 8 bucks basically. That's crazy. Think about that. You could buy 100 shares of the stock for 4,600, but then you could immediately put 790 bucks in your pocket. So even if the stock, and that's between now and, that's January 19th. And it's not like you can't lose money. If the stock dropped to 10, you would lose 3,400 bucks, and that 790 in your pocket would be all right, but you'd still be mad about the 3,400 bucks. Lots of times there's a reason these covered calls are paying so much. I'm not suggesting anyone do this, but sometimes I like to go look at the best option trades. And sometimes you can find like a cheap option trade if you're like a small time retail guy, or you don't want to risk a lot of money. I was talking to someone in my Discord today, and he's in this one, this wolf. I don't know what this is. TerraWolf? You guys know what that is? Maybe crypto because of the way it peaked right there. I mean, I don't know, but anyway, look at the darn premium in this call. I mean, my lord, this is huge. So check this out. All right, Wolf. The stock trades at $2.15, and you could sell a $2.50 call for January 19th, a month away, basically, a little less than a month, for $1.85. That's crazy. No, it's not for $1.85. Okay, I'll take that back. For 30 cents, that's still crazy. Yeah, $1.85 been really crazy. But when you sell that for 30 cents, it makes your effective price of owning this $1.85. So a little stock like this, it can only drop to zero. I mean, if it drops to zero between now and January 19th, you're out $215, but at least you picked up a $30. $30 is an insanely high premium for that, on that small of a stock. Anyway, but the thing is, but hopefully the stock will rally. And, and probably what it'll do is if you did this trade, and I'm not saying you should, it would probably blow right through your strike and go to $5 or $10. You'd be mad that you did it. You'd be mad that you traded $30 for $5 or $10. But mathematically, if you could do this all the time, that's 200% a year, these types of trades. Or no, it's 400% a year. It'd be 475% a year on average is how much you make when you're selling that kind of premium. Anyway, I might start doing some more covered call, or not more covered call content, some covered call content at all. All right, let's see. I had a viewer comment that I wanted to respond to. Okay, here it is. It's from Miami Futures Trader. He commented, Max, I'm continuing to love your channel and content. I have a question. If a huge market drop of, say, 30% or more occurs, would you stay in these Defiance funds and keep, or Defiance funds and drip until the market recovers? And let's see what else he said. I'm asking this since we are now about to enter the 2024 election year. Without talking politics, let me just say that I'm concerned about the many unsettling potential events that could take place. Again, what is your thinking? Well, I'm with them on the politic thing. There is some unsettling events that could happen. The other side to that is lots of times in re-election years, the Fed is extra accommodative, and they make money cheaper, and they do stuff to try to keep the party in power. So I could see a scenario where, usually election years are good times to stay invested. I do know what he's saying, though. I mean, I do watch the news, and so I know what he's saying. Anyway, yes, but to answer his question, if it drops 30%, heck yes. Of course, by then, it's too late. If you know that it's going to drop 30% and you get out now and you could buy it back at the bottom, yeah, sure. But by the time it happens, it's too late. So yes, if it happened to me, I would keep dripping. The other thing is these funds, and I think I saved a chart to prove, well, yeah, here it is. These covered call funds, the Defiance ones haven't been around but for a couple months, but there's been other covered call funds that are exactly the same, and short put funds, except they just use weekly instead of monthly. Or I'm sorry, they use weekly and monthly instead of daily. But like, look at this example. All right, this Put W is a nice fund by Wisdom Tree. Doesn't pay a very good dividend, but it's all right. But anyway, it's the same strategy that QQQY does. The reason it doesn't pay a very good dividend is because it does monthly options. So the deal is with the monthly option, you're going to capture less premium, but you're also going to get less volatility, a lot less volatility than the market as a whole. So, like, look at this. So the SPY in that year, but before 2020, because this is the ultimate black swan to stress test a strategy. Because you would think if you're selling puts and the market drops like it did in February and March of 2020, you'd be screwed, but not necessarily. And I guess you would be it'd be kind of bad news, but I'm assuming that you're taking, whenever somebody buys one of these funds, that we're comparing it to owning just regular mutual funds. So if you had a regular mutual fund, they were up 43% coming in, the SPY was, and it went to down 2%. So what is that? That dropped 45%, just on that rough estimate, look at the chart. Well, look at this one that writes puts. It was up 18% and it went down to down 13. So what is that? 18 plus 13, was that 31%? Well, heck, 31%, that's nothing. The broader market dropped 40%. That's like, you're getting quite a cushion on here. The thing is, what I was trying to say earlier is the dailies give you more downside cushion also than the weeklies. You can expect more income and more downside cushion than you can with the weeklies or the monthlies. So I would expect, and I can't prove this, but I would expect on a daily strategy, it'd probably be down about 25% instead of 30%, whereas when the market's down about 40%. You get a lot of cushion in there. So yeah, if it happens to you, yes, just keep dripping. If you know and have some special knowledge, yeah, get out. But since no one really knows, I'm just a believer that you stay invested, and you don't have all your money in these type of funds either. If you just have 10 or 20% in Yield Max and Defiance, that kind of stuff, heck, it's going to be fine. Because if you have the rest of your money diversified into regular stuff, you should be fine in either event. I think diversity and diversification would be your North Star in this case. So yeah, I would stand pat. Thank you for the comment. let's look at what else we had to look at. Well, let's do a profit box, and then I'll let you guys go. It's Christmas. Go spend time with your family. Let's see. Let's look at. We'll do one. For some reason, people like to see how I do these. I got a lot of comments, so we'll just do one from start to finish on JEPY. So to go over what happened, this is Friday's trade. On Friday's trade, they made 360, or they made 359,000. They were going for 367. So anyway, the first thing I got to do is switch this number to just a number. 4754.63. All right, and then what we have to do is I have to go over to the good old Defiance website. They actually have a pretty good website, or they disclose the stuff to us. They're pretty transparent, which I like. Okay, so we click on intraday trades. Then I open this thing up. Then I copy and paste that. All right, so I have to do the same thing again. We have to figure out the average price. We had 175 contracts at $12.80, and then we had 46 contracts for $12.20. So to average it out, I have to multiply the top row, and then I have to multiply the bottom. Multiply the bottom row. Then I have to add those two numbers up. And we're going to add these two numbers up. Yeah, sum is perfect. Then we're going to go equals. All right, so that's our answer. Our average price was we had total contracts at 221, which is just 175 plus 46, and then I had to average these prices. So our average price is $12.68 per contract. So $12.68. All right, and then I have to get the strike as 47.60. So we put 47.60 where the strike is. Now the strike is also the max profit. Whenever you're selling options, the strike that you sell the option at is the max profit. You want it to go right to that price and stop, and that's going to be the most money you can make. Okay, so that's our max profit. Then we have to calculate the rest of the rows. Okay, so now we have our break even or our minimum profit. I thought I made it where you could always see this. I guess it's just gone too far down. All right, so now we have the minimum profit. It's 47.32, and all that is $12.68 less 47.60. And so let's go over and draw the profit box. All righty. What the heck am I doing? All right, 47.60. I hate this tool. It always unselects. Or then it's selected when I don't want it to be. All right, 47.60 was about 13 bucks, so the break-even price would be 53 something or 52 something probably. I forgot exactly what it was, but I know it was 12. I think it was 12.68. So we'll call it right there. All right. So oh gosh, I got the number, but the color's wrong. Yellow is the time premium part of the option, and green is the intrinsic or the in the value amount. Okay, but I'm always talking about how the height of, you can look at the height of the boxes and you can kind of tell if they got a lot of premium or not, just kind of visually. So you would say that this day we didn't get as much premium as this day. And there's other factors. It depends on how far in the money they sell. It's not, you can't just look at by the height of it, but anyway, you could see this day right here after the market dropped big, you can definitely see that they got a lot of premium, because after the market drops like that, volatility goes up. And that's why these single day options are so powerful, because they get a reprice volatility every day. So if there's a big volatility event, they get a profit off it somewhat. I mean, it is true, it made their NAV go down, but it makes their premium go up. You can kind of see as the market was rising, the boxes were getting smaller, and like this box was pretty, it's pretty slim pickings. But then after all it took is one day of going down, and then it reset everything back to the larger premium. And then this was pretty good premium too. But now we're starting to get back into the slim pickings again. And it could have to do with the next week also is one of the, it's not going to be a very busy week. There's not going to be a lot of volume. And sometimes a lot of volume or a lack of volume causes volatility. But in any event, so that's what we're shooting for. I'll come back on Sunday night and we'll look at IWMY and we'll look at futures at that time and all that kind of stuff. Remember, this is not financial advice. This is for fun and entertainment only. This is just like talking to one of your buddies. Speaking of buddies, I'm going to get back on Discord and talk to all my buddies in there. Anyway, Jax and I want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas. And like I say, we'll see you again on I guess it'd be Christmas Day, but the Christmas Day, the night after Christmas or whatever you would call that. Not Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve +1. We'll be back with another Late Night with Jax and Max, episode 4. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And if you have any questions or if I confused you or said something that you disagree with, leave it in the comments and I'll answer it and we'll figure out what's going on. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a nice evening.